Sebagai tanda solidariti dengan rakyat Sabah dan Sarawak, Kerajaan negeri buat pertama kalinya menyeraikan Hari Malaysia dengan upacara khas. Kerajaan negeri Pulau Penang sungguh pun dipisahkan oleh laut dan gunung daripada saudara warga kita daripada Sabah dan Sarawak. Amat prihatin tentang perjuangan mereka memperbaiki dan mengukuhkan hak asasi manusia dan sosial ekonomi mereka. Kita sebagai bapa, sebagai ibu, sebagai abang dan sebagai kakak amat marah dan sedih bila membaca kesengsaraan kaum Penan dan juga penduduk asal yang dianiayai oleh pembalap-pembalap di Sarawak. Untuk membantu kaum wanita Penan daripada terus dirogol dan dianiayai, saya akan mencadangkan dalam satu mesyuarat Exco nanti bahawa kerajaan negeri menderma RM30,000 kepada usaha membela nasib gadis kecil dan remaja Penan. Membela nasib gadis kecil dan remaja Penan yang dirogol semasa tumpang kereta pergi ke sekolah untuk membela dan menuntut keadilan di mahkamah ke atas penjanayah yang bertopikan manusia. Sumbangan kecil kerajaan negeri untuk semua golongan wanita penduduk asal yang dianiayai oleh pembalap-pembalap ini, kita hendak ingin ingatkan kepada kaum asli Sarawak bahawa mereka tidak dilupakan dan diingati selalu oleh rakyat Pulau Penang.
Important that we ensure that our women are given protection and also freedom. There must be freedom from fear. The greatest freedom of all, freedom from want, freedom to worship, freedom from hunger, of course most important, freedom from fear. I think this is the most basic fundamental freedom. And if a girl, when 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old, if in going to school every day, she faces the risk of being raped daily, this is not the Malaysia that we are fighting for. This is unacceptable. And you know, my record has always been fighting for women's rights, especially those who are raped. Why should victims be victimized why should victims be punished a second time by being regarded and considered as criminals, when those who are raped should be protected and defended, but yet the rapists are allowed to go scot-free? And you know, I fought for this as part of my political beliefs. I had to go to prison for this, but now when I'm in government, I think we have to do something. It is our small contribution to protect women, not only for the Penans in Sarawak, but also other tribes. It's completely unacceptable. I think we should be completely and thoroughly ashamed of ourselves. What type of one Malaysia is this when women or young girls who go to school every day face the risk of being raped? And if the police or the authorities still wash their hands and do not want to take any action, I think they should be utterly ashamed of themselves, not as policemen but as a father and as a brother. We must take action, especially when the Women Affairs Ministry have said that this is true, that girls were raped just because they had to take a leave from the loggers on their way to school. Mechanism so that it will be given to all those bodies and all those that can help the Penans, whether in terms of food aid, whether in terms of fighting for justice, bringing them to justice, or stopping the rapes. I mean, these loggers are too much. They must also stop their workers. If they want to get a leave, at least provide free transport. They make so much money, they can't provide free transport. And then every time they face rape, nonsense. It's outrageous, you know. And this is an international issue. We're talking about women's rights. How can you have human dignity? How can women's dignity? How can you protect women then they face rape and sexual violence every day? Young girls, 12, 14, going to school every day face the risk of being raped. What is this? And then nobody cares. Police say they don't know anything.
Saya interview masa dialog Menteri Besar Selangor dengan Yang Berhormat Khalid dan Yang Berhormat Rozia, seorang peserta nak ugut untuk rape Exco wanita daripada Selangor itu, dan nothing action setakat. Dia threaten to rape the Rozia, the Exco wanita. Itu pun tak ada action.
Ini serius. Tapi yang berlaku di Penang ialah telah berlaku berkali-kali.
I know, that mean rape ni sudah jadi
So ini sudah jadi satu weapon tau.
Weapon.
Sudah jadi satu senjata. So sekarang kita lihat ini yang berlaku di Penang telah berlaku berulang-ulang kali. Dan sebagai rakyat Pulau Pinang, sungguh pun kita dipisahkan dengan gunung dan laut. Tapi kita ambil berat kerana mereka pun warga dan anak Malaysia. Itu barulah anak Malaysia. Okay? Anything else?
Sept, I wanted to ask you earlier, but you were away. Can you comment on the NCMC investigation on Malaysiakini regarding the cowhead video?
I think that investigation is completely unwarranted because we are just stating the truth. And for MCMC to interfere, it shows that they have completely contravened their Bill of Guarantees. Under the Multimedia Super Corridor, they have 10 Bill of Guarantees. One of them is no censorship. Now MCMC appears to be trying to stop the truth from being shown and from being told. That's why, you know, one of the 5 principles that I mentioned just now, we talk about kebebasan, freedom, we talk about keadilan, justice, we talk about kebenaran, truth. I think that's why the people has the right to know the truth. Just now that play also talking about truth. So now we see that those who want to stop the truth from being shown are those who are not following not only moral principles but also the teachings of God.
Just one comment. The mechanism of it, do not hand it over to the Sarawak State government.
No, don't worry about that.
Because I just give you some background. When this issue was first brought up by Malaysiakini, it was late last year. The first reaction of the Timbalan CM of Sarawak, Alfred Jabu, is just outright denial. Nothing of this sort has happened. Outright denial, and even before he went into investigation, and thereafter, when the report was released in September this year, again, there is denial on his behalf, and he starts to question the truth, the correctness of the report. So, and coming from Alfred Jabu, this is shocking because he is the Timbalan Menteri, Timbalan Ketua Menteri, and also the person who is in charge of the natives affair in Sarawak. So for a person who is in charge of natives affair in Sarawak, and with such a report from the Women's Kementerian, I mean that speaks a lot about his feelings for the native, and that denial syndrome is very strong amongst the Sarawak state government. So, but anyway, I'd like to express our thanks to the Penang state government for the allocation.
Thank you. And otherwise, I think not only will be a shame, I think the whole world will be looking at Malaysia as a disgrace. Instead of spending so much money on F1, do your own F1. You're talking about 100 million. You're talking about very expensive F1. It's one of the most expensive sport, approaching, talking about at least 100 million ringgit. Why don't you go and spend some resources to help women, to stop them from being raped? And it seems to be officially sanctioned because they are the only way they can go to school. I think there should be some protection. Send some money to send some policemen or troops even to protect the women. After all, you can spend hundreds of millions for one car to race in F1. Can't you spend some money for this purpose?